On a stormy night in a remote village near the Indus River, a scream echoed from a small mud brick home. Inside, a nurse dropped a newborn in shock. The doctor stepped back, his hands trembling. The mother fainted the moment she saw her child. This wasn't a normal birth, because what came into the world that night had the face of a child and the tail of a beast. A creature that defied science, shattered faith, and became a legend whispered across generations. And at the center of it all was a quiet, devout Muslim girl. Her name was Zara. And this is the story the world wasn't ready to believe. Zara was just 19. Humble, soft-spoken, deeply religious. She wore her hijab with pride and spent her days teaching children at the local madrasa. Her life was simple. Her dreams were ordinary: to marry, raise a family, and remain close to Allah. She was engaged to her cousin, Haris. Their wedding was to be held in spring under the flowering neem tree outside the mosque. But fate had other plans. In early winter,
days passed,
Zara vanished
no one saw
without
her.
a trace.
The
The village searched the forest, the riverside, even accused rival communities of kidnapping her. And then, just as suddenly as she vanished, Zahra returned. Her clothes were soaked, her feet were blistered and bloody. She looked dazed, hollow-eyed, and claimed to remember nothing. When questioned, she simply repeated, "I don't know where I was." She returned to prayer, but something was different. She was quieter, distant, her smile never returned. 3 months later, she was pregnant. The village exploded with rumors. Unmarried, untouched, now carrying a child. Shame, suspicion, scandal. Some whispered she had been possessed. Others accused her of hiding a secret affair. But Zara remained calm. She didn't defend herself. She didn't argue. She simply said, "This child is not ordinary." Her pregnancy progressed unnaturally fast. By the 3rd month, her belly had swollen beyond expectation. By the 4th, she began screaming at night, claiming to feel
Villagers
something
reported
scratching
strange
from
sightings,
inside her womb. Crocodiles near her home, slithering in the dry riverbed. Animals fled her presence. Cats hissed. Dogs barked uncontrollably. Her mother claimed she sleepwalked into the river and returned hours later, completely dry. It happened on a Friday night. The wind howled. Thunder shook the village. Dara went to early labor. The city doctor was called, but the child couldn't wait. At exactly 3:13 a.m., the room fell into chaos. The nurse screamed and dropped the newborn onto the sheet-covered floor. The doctor stood frozen. The lights flickered, and Zara lost consciousness. What lay before them was something that should not have existed. The child's face. Soft, fragile, crying, but the body, covered in scales. Its limbs, part human, part reptilian. Its back, smooth like a crocodile's hide. And its tail longer, slowly swaying. It blinked, it breathed, it was alive. The baby lived for 8 hours. Medical experts were rushed in. Some claimed it was an extreme Others blamed genetic exposure to mutation. chemicals or radiation, but nothing could explain the spiritual presence in the room. Elders spoke of ancient river spirits. A local healer claimed Zara had unknowingly stepped into the forbidden marshes, where the water remembers, where jinn dwell between worlds, where children are born not of flesh alone but of spirit. And warning, Zara never wept, she never feared. She washed the child herself, wrapped him in white cloth, and buried him beneath the neem tree where she was supposed to be married. Before leaving the village forever, Zahra handed the imam a sealed letter. It read, "I do not know what grew inside me. I do not claim to understand it, but it came to remind you that not all things strange or evil, that some children are sent not to live, but to awaken. Judge me if you must, but know this, faith is tested in ways we may never recognize. I bore the burden. I bore the child. And I bore the silence." She left that same night. No one has seen her since. Years passed. The neem tree still stands. And every spring, villagers claim they hear faint cries beneath the earth. Not of pain, but of something waiting to be remembered. Zara's story is not just a tale of the unexplained. It's a reminder of how little we understand the worlds around us and within us, of how easily we label what we don't recognize, and how quickly we judge those carrying silent burden. Not every story is meant to make sense. Some are meant to humble us, to challenge our beliefs, to ask us, if you saw her child, would you still call her a sinner or something more divine?